This is analog and digital communication systems. The paper code is EC501. Total number of contact hour is 36. The contact per week is 3 lectures, and the credit is also 3. Myself, Dr. Indranath Sarkar, Associate Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at JS College of Engineering. Welcome to Analog and Digital Communication. This is Module 5, Digital Modulation Techniques. There are 5 course outcomes of this subject. The first one deals with, it explains the importance of analog and digital communication. That is the modulation and demodulation schemes. In this case, we are very much interested to grow the knowledge of the student towards the basic definitions of the modulation and demodulation part. The second course outcome deals with the analyze analog communication system for their signal to noise ratio, efficiency and bandwidth, because whenever students are dealing with the signals, they are very much interested to know about its power that can dominate the noise over the channel. So that is why signal to noise ratio plays important role for analog and digital communication, as well as its efficiency and bandwidth. When the signal is received by the receiver, the accuracy should be as high as possible. The third course outcome statements is to compare the advantage of various pulse modulation technique and analyze their system performances. And the fourth one deals with demonstrating signal representation. So this is one of the most important part of the course, that is how to represent the signal or signal constellation, because once the signal position is known, therefore we can describe the noise margin or noise cloud around the signal vector tip, so that the amount of noise that can contaminate the signal will have a prediction. So that is one way to check the communication system suitable for a certain area. Analyze various digital communication techniques, can compute the bit error performance and compare their advantages and limitations. So this is the last outcome, which is dealing with the efficiency of the digital communication system, in which the bit error rate as well as several types of error cases, that is type 1, type 2 errors, will be discussed here, so that students will be able to demonstrate such factors. There are 5 modules in this subject. The module 1 deals with the introduction, where the introductory concept of the communication system will be discussed, and thereafter the basic knowledge of the analog communication and digital communication and their correlation, that is interdependency of those two communication system over the timeline. And the second module deals with the random processes. The random process it deals with certain mathematical examples as well as principles, in which the statistical characterization of the signal will be analyzed. And the module 3 deals with the pulse modulation. The pulse modulation basically analog communication technique, and it is also the bridge between the analog and digital communication technique, because the pulse modulation produces pulses corresponding to instantaneous magnitude of the analog signal. Several categories of pulse modulation are also to be discussed in this module. And thereafter the module 4, which is signal vector representation. So if signal vector is properly represented, then we can predict the amount of noise that can contaminate a particular signal, whether the signal will withstand with respect to that noise or not. So all these things could be predicted. Digital modulation techniques will be discussed here, and differential pulse mode modulation to shift keying techniques, all these things will be discussed in the last module. The prerequisites of this analog and digital communication is the knowledge of signal vector representation, characteristics and of additive white Gaussian noise, geometric representation of signals, synthesizer and analyzer, signal vector, signal space, Euclidean space, etc. And this is the corresponding COPO mapping for the analog and digital communication. There are 5 course outcome statements which are related to the program outcome vertical with 3 different weightages. The first one is the highest weightage, numerically 3, medium weightage is 2, and the lowest weightage is 1. So why it is 3 given? Because program outcome 1, 2, 3 are the corresponding knowledges of engineering, as well as program outcome 10 and 11 deals with the communication and project management and finance. So in this case we are giving higher weightage to each of these course outcome mostly, and there is a low weightage are getting program outcome 5 and 6 because it is the theoretical subject in which the modern tool uses and engineer and society impact are less, and almost environment and sustainability, ethics, these are coming less to this subject. So depending on that, this COPO mapping has been introduced. The course objective of this analog and digital communication is to familiarize students with the fundamental of analog and digital communication systems, to provide students with tools for communication signal analysis, to familiarize students with various techniques for amplitude modulation and demodulation of analog signals, to develop the students' ability to determine the effects of receiver frequency and phase errors in synchronous modulation systems, to familiarize students with techniques for generating and demodulating narrow band and wide band frequency and phase modulated signals, to familiarize students with basic techniques for generating and demodulating pulse code modulated signals, to familiarize students with issues pertaining to the transmission of digital signals over bandwidth limited communication channels. The topics to be covered today are the concepts of M-ARRI communication, types of M-ARRI techniques, M-ARRI amplitude shift keying, M-ARRI phase shift keying, M-ARRI phase shift keying features, the average probability of symbol error for coherent M-ARRI APSK, and the power spectral of MPSK. Now, before going to discuss the concept of M-ARRI communication, let us first describe what is actually M stands for. M is the number of symbols, and these symbols are constructed based on the binary bits required for transmission. We know the binary transmission or digital transmission fully depends on the values logic 1 and 0. Now here logic 1 and 0, when transmitted, a sequence of ones and zeros are formed. That means it is a serial communication. Okay, there are parallel communication and serial communication. In case of serial communication, we are seeing that there are sequence of logic ones and zeros to be transmitted. Now if there is a possibility that the number of bits which are representing the information is n, then 2 to the power n will be the possible binary bit combination for a particular digital transmission. So in that case, we can say that 2 to the power n combinations of binary bit constitutes m number of symbols when m is equal to 2 to the power n. So here we have described the same thing. The word binary represents 2 bits. M represents a digit that corresponds to the number of conditions, levels, or combination of possible for a given number of binary variables. This is the type of digital modulation techniques used for data transmission in which instead of 1 bit, 2 bit or more bits are transmitted at the same time. As a result, signal is used, that is a single signal is used for multiple bit transmission when the channel bandwidth is reduced. So this is one of the great advantage. The channel bandwidth we can reduce if the number of symbol is increasing, and there is also limitation because if more number of symbols are transmitted, then at the receiving end when the signals has to be recovered, there should have a good amount of noise margin. We will discuss later for the receiver design. So therefore the number of symbol if increased abundantly, then there will be some limitation or there are some constraints for noise reduction at the receiving end. Now regarding the A-Mary equation, if a digital signal is given under 4 conditions such as voltage levels, frequency, phase and amplitude, then M is equal to 4. The number of bits necessary to provide a given number of conditions is expressed mathematically as n is equal to log of m base 2. So as we discussed that if the number of symbol is capital M, then if we take the logarithm of the number of symbol with a base 2, then this will give the number of bits which is representing a particular message magnitude. So n is the number of bits necessary, m is the number of conditions, levels or combinations possible for with n bits. The above equation can be rearranged as 2 to the power n equal to m. So we have started with the discussion m equal to 2 to the power n and concluded in n is equal to log of m base 2. Therefore, for example, for 2 number of bits, we can say that number of symbols will be 2 to the power 2, that is 4. In general, multi-level M-Ary modulation techniques are used in digital communications as the digital inputs with more than 2 modulation levels are allowed on the transmitter's input. Hence, these techniques are bandwidth efficient. There are many M-Ary modulation techniques. Some of these techniques modulate one parameter of the carrier signal such as amplitude, phase and frequency. Now regarding the M-Ary ASK, that is M-Ary amplitude shift keying, before going to discuss the M-Ary ASK, let us recapitulate the discussion of amplitude shift keying, in which we have transmitted logic 1s and 0s depending on a radio frequency carrier, whether it will be present or absent. So that was the criteria. That means logic 1 means radio signal has to be transmitted, logic 0 means radio signal has to be stopped. That means there will be no signal for logic 0. Therefore, for M-Ary ASK, that means M-Ary amplitude shift keying or M-Ary pulse amplitude modulation. So these two terms are similarly applicable for the same thing. The amplitude of the carrier signal takes on m different levels representing M-Ary ASK. Now if we consider a signal, time varying signal, SMT is equal to AM cos 2 pi FCT, where FC is the carrier frequency and AM is the magnitude of the maximum magnitude of the sinusoidal carrier signal, then we can go for some prominent, we can discuss some prominent features of M-Ary ASK, which are as this method is also used in pulse amplitude modulation, its implementation is simple. Emery ASK is susceptible to noise and distortion. So this is the main drawback for ASK as well as Emery ASK. So when there is a sufficient or significant noise, the Emery ASK has to be avoided. Now we have considered a typical time varying signal for the amplitude shift king. So if we consider the carrier signal Sm is equal to Am cos 2 pi fct, if we consider this is the amplitude shift king signal, then there obviously residing the basis function which is representing the carrier signal. So we can write Smt is equal to Am cos 2 pi fct, where it is the real part of the equation Am multiplied by e to the power j2 pi fct, because the real part of the e to the power j2 pi fct is the cos 2 pi fct. So that has to be multiplied with Am to represent Am into cos 2 pi fct. Now if we go for the low pass nature of this signal, that is Sm of LPT, then that will be equal to capital A suffix m, that means it is a pure magnitude. Now the basis functions which are obtained from the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure, phi t can be written as square root 2 by ts cos 2 pi fct. Now in terms of basis function, if we represent the same amplitude shifting signal, then we can write Smt is equal to Sm, that means Am into square root ts by 2. So how we got this equation? First of all, we find out the energy of the signal Smt by squaring it and integrating over the symbol duration 0 to ts, and thereby we got the energy is Am squared ts by 2, and we know the signal magnitude can be represented as the square root value of the energy. That is why if we take the square root of Esm, that gives us Am square root ts by 2. So therefore it is not a new thing, it is coming from the equation of energy, and it is a one-dimensional representation of the signal. Now this is the example of a very ASK where the signal constellation is shown properly, where we are showing that there is a logic 0 on the left hand side and logic 1 on the right hand side. Now here if we increase the number of bit from m equal to 2 to m equal to 4, the signal constellation shows the same x-axis is maintained for representing all these 4 symbols. Only thing is that it is equally divided, 2 number of symbols on the left hand side and 2 number of symbols on the right hand side. And we should note that on each side there is a 1 bit transition. That means 2 bits are not changed, only 1 bit is changing on either side of the vertical axis. Similarly for m equal to 8, if we go, there will be the presence of 8 symbols, where 4 symbols written on the right hand side and 4 symbols written on the left hand side. Also here we can note that for 8 number of symbols also from either side, that is the symbols written on either side are having only 1 bit transition, that is successive bit transition is only 1 bit, not 2 bit transitions are not there. So this is a hint which is written here, the mathematical, or we can say the actual explanation is not discussed here, but we will discuss later that if there is a 1 bit transition, there will be a reduction of noise and a maximization of power at the main spectrum. So when we will discuss the spectrum, we will go for the reason that why there is a 1 bit transition written on either side of the vertical axis. Now here m equal to 4 means the bandpass modulation signal is having, see, 1 is represented by the first section of the signal. Thereafter 2 such sections are having the same higher magnitude written for 10 and 00, and thereafter there is another representation of 01 by using lower excursion of the magnitude. Now one thing we can note if we see more carefully, that the start of the signal is having is either having the falling or rising edge. Depending on that, the classification has been made. That means whether it is falling edge, then it is 1 1. If it is a rising edge, then it is 0 1. Similarly for the higher excursion also. So one thing we need to note that the RF carrier signal is representing uh, distinct signal for each of the combination of binary bits, and that is why we got the equivalent digital nature of the signal written below. That is 1 1 written with the level of magnitude, 1 0 is written compared to higher level magnitude, and the least level magnitude is 0 0, and thereafter more than 0 0 it is 0 1. So in this way several magnitude levels are constructed for representation of two number of bits. So one thing is sure that two number of bit are requiring four number of combination, that is why four number of logic levels are created. So whenever there is a pair of bit are having a combination, we need to assign that particular level for the signal. Now here AMRI PSK, for which we already have gone through this one. Now these are the features of AMRI PSK. The envelope is constant with more phase possibilities. This method was used during the early days of space communication. Earlier space communication has a wide acceptance of AMRI PSK. Better performance than ASK and FSK. Now why it is having better performance? Because in case of amplitude shifting, we have seen that as the amplitude is the main information residing in the transmitted signal, that is why in ASK it is having the it is a disadvantageous modulation technique, because noise could easily superimpose on the magnitude, and thereafter the frequency shifting is more robust compared to ASK, where the frequency is the main location where the information is residing. So therefore frequency shifting is comparatively advantageous, but better performance we observe in case of phase shifting, because the message information is residing in the phase of the RF carrier signal. Whenever there is a transition of 1 to 0 or 0 to 1, there will be a phase change of the RF signal. So that is the only way to identify the message information. Minimal phase estimation error at the receiver end, because receiver can easily identify the phase error. The bandwidth efficiency of AMRI PSK decreases and the power efficiency increases with the increase of AM. So we already have discussed that if AM is the number of symbol we can increase, that means the number of bit required to represent a particular sample has to be increased. So if the number of bit for a particular sample is increasing, the amount of power is also required to increase. So therefore output power will be increasing the efficiency of the system. So here only thing is that when the symbols are transmitted over the channel, they will be more prone to the noise, and the receiver has to take care of that noise immunity, so that it can extract the exact information from the modulated signal. Now this is the block diagram for AMRI PSK modulation technique. In this block diagram, it is clear that information sequence are coming in series to the baseband processing unit. Now the baseband processing unit divides the incoming raw bit into two paths. One is the odd bit path, another is the even bit path. So these even bits are SI1, which are multiplied with the basis function phi1t, and the odd bits are multiplied with another basis function phi2t. We need to remember or recall that phi1 and phi2, these are representing the carrier signal, which are orthogonal to each other, because one signal is cosine, another is sine signal. Now after the multiplier, the product of the odd bit and the quadrature carrier and the even bit and the in phase carrier, we are getting they are ready at the input of the summer. Now the summer here working as a subtractor because one of the input is 180 degree out of phase. Therefore, the final resultant summer output ST is representing the AMRE PSK modulated output signal. The signal constellation of AMRE PSK is given here. If you observe that AMRE PSK modulated signal over the time duration, which is nothing but the symbol duration capital T, is given by square root 2e by t cos of omega ct plus 2 pi I divided by m. Here I stands for the number of signal, that means whether it is the first signal or second signal. So depending on the symbol position I equal to 1 to m, this value will be replacing. So therefore I is 0 to m minus 1 and m is equal to 2 to the power small m, where small m is the number of bit to encode each of the symbol. So it is clear that the signal constellation will be on the circular area, that is circular periphery. Here S1, S0, S2 up to S7, that means for 8 array PSK the signal constellation is shown. Obviously it is AMRE PSK because here m is equal to 8. So therefore there are two type of receiving signal, one is the in phase, another is the quadrature, and their equations are given at the bottom. The demodulation of AMRE PSK could be described here with this block diagram. The detection zone Z0 for the vector S0 making an angle pi radian divided by 8, which is pi by m radian because m is equal to 8 at the origin, is shown in figure, and the in phase and quadrature demodulator structure is represented in this figure, because you see in phase means which is associated with the cosine basis function, and the quadrature component is nothing but which is associated with sine part of the basis function. So in case of PSK modulation, the maximum likelihood decision procedure can be equivalently framed in terms of a phase discrimination procedure. This is usually followed in practice. The phase discrimination in the figure below determines the theta, which is the tan inverse RQ by RI. RQ is the quadrature component and RI is the in phase component. So from RI and RQ as obtained from the correlation detector, we can find out the theta. The sign and magnitude of theta produces the optimum estimate of a transmitted symbol. So therefore, as it is seen that the phase discriminator plays the major role for the decision of the PSK demodulation. Now determination of the expression for average symbol error rate will be avoided here for simplicity. However, the approach is general and similar to what we have followed earlier. For example, consider the decision zone S0 where pi by m minus pi by m to plus pi by m. This is the range for the angle. Then the function of theta denotes the likelihood function for S0. The probability of correct decision is 0, that means PC S0 is written as the integration of the angular function f theta from minus pi by m to plus pi by m. So the probability for erroneous decision when S0 is transmitted is 1 minus the correct probability.